Matchweek 23 in the books. Man City win the biggest game of the season so far at the Emirates, 3-1, behind a performance to remember from Kevin De Bruyne, which comes after a 3-0 victory earlier at the weekend against Aston Villa. Elsewhere, United win their rematch against Leeds, and Liverpool win the Merseyside derby. We'll cover all that was for Matchweek 23. From the downright awful VAR decisions to the even worse refereeing decisions, this is the Premiership Perusal podcast.
Manchester City are still alive here. Balotelli, Aguero! Back, Fuchs. The ball in behind Damian Bunny! It's 11! It's heaven for Jamie Vardy!
You are an ostrich. Well, your head must be in the sand. Is your head in the sand? Are you flexible enough to get your head in the sand?
Now the fans are shouting every week, Louis van Gaal's army! Louis van Gaal's army!
Feet after a fabulous start, the game just got away from you there.
I have nothing to say.
Nothing to say about the game at all.
Drama from day one! This is the league we want to watch!
Wow.
Is it fair to say that there were bad decisions this week that went against
Multiple clubs.
multiple clubs that are highly bestowed on this podcast? Some
Yeah.
London clubs,
Yeah, I think
perhaps.
first and foremost we got to pour one out for our boy Lee Mason getting a sack.
He resigned, bro.
I've seen the chat. Left by mutual consent.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, let's get right into it. The first one, West Ham versus Chelsea.
Oh, man.
Chelsea getting off to a great start, just dominating the possession.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to not say that they don't look at least like they're slowly but surely improving under Potter a bit.
I was pretty impressed, actually. The first half, I thought, wow, this team, they look legit.
Yeah, I mean, they're able to move the ball. It definitely feels like Joao Felix is their third best player by far. I'd say Silva 1, James 2, and then Felix 3. Although Enzo Fernandez,
He's
good
coming
too.
for that spot.
Yeah, he's up there too.
Yeah.
Chelsea really look good in possession this one, and they finally get their goal. Comes from the two guys we were just talking about, Joao Felix and Enzo Fernandez.
What a beautiful ball
Yeah,
from Enzo.
little dime. That's what they've been lacking this year, the dynamism out of midfield in particular, the central part of the pitch.
Yeah.
It's been a lot of get the ball wide under Tuchel and Potter. It's like they pretty much have to get wide, and they can really only score off crosses.
Yeah, and
Is
then,
what it seems
then
like.
you're just crossing it into Kai Havertz.
Yeah, and then it's all in fate's hands.
It's all in painful hands.
West Ham respond, though. Building some momentum, get some attack going, and then it's Emerson, the former Chelsea man, with a tap in at the back post.
Yeah, Chelsea's showing that they're not the finished product yet.
Clearly not.
Giving up that goal. Nice ball from Soufal. That flick on, perfect from Jared Bowen. And Emerson. You never expected the Emerson revenge game.
No, whoever saw it coming.
Too much respect doesn't celebrate.
Yeah. What a proper Chelsea, as they say.
Proper Chelsea.
But yeah, I thought West Ham had some good chances. Then as it got closer to the end of the half, Chelsea kind of got more back into it. Matchweek had a chance, and then there was a free kick chance that was saved by Fabianski from Joao Felix. That was a very nice free kick.
Yes.
Could have easily scored that one. Goes in halftime, 1-1. Second half, definitely a bit of a drop off in attack in this half, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, definitely. I was surprised. I mean, I thought Chelsea played pretty well in the first half. Second half, it just kind of came out flat from both sides.
Yeah.
Mikel Antonio, nearly own goal,
Yeah.
57th minute. Kai Havertz having a chance from a header, putting it wide.
It's truly not a game if Kai Havertz doesn't have a chance that he just completely messes up.
Then 82nd minute, West Ham think they've scored possible winner from a free kick, which saw Rice's initial attempt saved, and the rebound followed up by Souček, but Rice was offside.
Yeah, that was a close one, too.
Very close. And then the big controversy, 89th minute, handball shout. Gallagher's shot hits off Souček's hand, going to ground, not given after a very brief review. I mean, it was like 5 seconds long.
That's the thing that I'll never get about VAR is like, and we talked about it literally last podcast. How are you not just sending to the ref to the monitor and be like, hey, just take a look, just in case.
Right.
If it's even somewhat questionable, because half of these, I mean, it's supposed to be clear and definitive, but that's clearly not the rule, as you said last week.
Yeah,
so it's like
that's a lie.
Anytime it's questionable, you might as well just be like, I go take a look just in case.
Yeah.
I mean, that's absurd. It hit him smack dab. He went out of his way to stop the ball from going on net with his hand.
Yeah, I mean...
And they ruled it that it was natural because it was breaking his fall.
Right.
I mean,
it's a stretch for sure to say, oh, that's natural. Because, like, if you say that's natural, like, you could argue that, like, anything is natural. Like,
I think Will Hughes' handball against Bruno Fernandes.
He jumped in the air.
Yeah,
so
and his arm went up.
His arm went up. That's natural.
Yeah.
Nah,
Absurd.
I mean, at this point, you might as well just take out the freaking rule for handballs and everyone can just handle the ball as much as they want.
But the only thing that is fitting about this is it is deserved because Chelsea had the Mendy play earlier this year.
That's true.
Where it went their way.
Yeah.
So
funny how that works.
Yeah.
It comes full circle.
This one's still more egregious. But finishes 1-1. I struggle to hate on Potter too much, even though they can't get wins right now. People are still just really, really reminiscing about Tuchel as if he didn't lose to Leeds and Jesse Marsh 3-0 earlier in the year.
Yeah, I mean, there were a lot of bad performances under Tuchel.
Yeah, I don't know. People have this fascination with them.
Yeah.
It's very strange. And then as far as Chelsea midweek, I mean, they easily should have won their game probably like 3-0. Instead, they lose 1-0. But what are you going to do? Chelsea, bad luck. Maybe Graham Potter's just bad luck Brian.
Yeah, well, they said that his job is safe, which means
it's
he's
not
getting
safe.
sacked.
Yeah, it's not safe whatsoever. Todd Bowley thinks he can pull the American sports owner kind of sheet over our eyes. We see that all the time in American sports. They come out and he's our guy.
Right. There's signs of life, but I just can't see a world where Graham Potter gets that much time.
No, it's if they can't even finish in like, I would say like 7th by the end of the year or 6th. I think he might get sacked. But all I'll say for Chelsea before we move on, no Mount and or Havertz, and they're scoring goals.
Who would have thought?
It's almost like those guys are the problem this year.
No.
What do I know? What do I know?
Great players.
Moving on, another London derby that had a lot of controversy with the refereeing decisions. We got Arsenal and Brentford. Arsenal kind of really put it on them early. Mm-hmm. Brentford kind of pinned in, and then Brentford, as the half went along, kind of really worked their chances. But that first one, Saka barreling forward during a chance that went right at Raya, kind of looked like he got tripped up or stumbled a bit. Good chance that, we wouldn't say wasted, but you've seen Saka do better with before.
Yeah, and one of those where he stays on his feet, maybe to his fault.
Yeah, it's the nobility that's the downfall of him.
Yeah, you got to go down.
Dive. What are you doing? Yeah, that's who dives in that situation? Harry Kane. He gets the goal.
Absolutely.
Or anyone on City.
Yeah, Arsenal, a lot of possession in this one, almost 70%, but the attack just hasn't been flowing as it had been earlier this season. I mean, Saka still looks great.
Yeah.
I feel like Odegaard has been a little less great.
All
And I think Xhaka definitely
has dropped off
has
a bit.
dropped off.
You know what the thing is, and it's not like, and a lot of people won't notice it because he didn't have amazing numbers. But the Jesus effect right now,
Yeah.
you're really feeling it.
100%.
Not because he'd necessarily be scoring goals, but I think he would just provide the juice to the attack that they haven't had for a little bit.
Yeah, not only does he provide that, I think he kind of unlocks other players.
Yeah, but I would say he provides the juice to the attack.
Well, 100% juice. He's the juice. The juice is Lewis. He's OJ. He's the juice. I think Martinelli.
Jesus juice.
Jesus juice, yeah.
That's his shirt now.
I think Martinelli, there's been a drop off in his stats since Jesus has been out.
Yeah. I feel like when he's getting on the ball a lot, it's really more progressive runs, bringing it into the attacking end, and a lot of times it's him or maybe one other guy with him at times.
Mm-hmm.
And then it gets to the point where it's like, well, there's 3 defenders and me, so I'm just going to have to stop, and then we're going to have to work and set it up.
Yeah.
It's not like he's getting in a spot where there's like 4 Arsenal attackers, 4 defenders, and the ball makes its way to him and he's shooting.
Mm-hmm.
He's just not really, and not really his fault, but he's not getting in those situations necessarily, I feel like.
Yeah.
But, what do I know? But Brentford, as we said, worked their way back into this. Ivan Toney hits the bar on virtually an empty net.
That was a big let off.
Yeah, you would back him to finish that. It wasn't very easy because it's closer to the edge of the box, and the ball he kind of had to walk into it, but still, Ivan Toney, man, in form. I thought Brentford, the real key in this game was they were working Arsenal in the midfield.
100%. They were sat back, well organized, and they just knew the proper game plan to frustrate Arsenal and then to be able to hit on the counter. They had the best chances in the first half despite barely having any of the ball.
Yeah, I'm surprised that there's a couple guys on Brentford that are just really built to like stymie teams like Arsenal and Man City and stuff. Norgard is like the first guy that comes to mind. Just like a classic ball-winning guy, kind of tough as nails, kind of just not afraid to back down, won't take shit. It's guys like that. Brentford's filled with a bunch of them, but it's guys like that. You'd think that, bigger clubs would get those guys as more like rotational pieces. Liverpool.
Depth? No, I haven't heard of her.
No. So it goes into halftime 0-0. Second half, Brentford creating the chances, but the finishing really was not there early on.
Mm-hmm.
And then Arsenal, they make it happen. Leo Trossard, Super Leo.
Super Leo Trossard, Chelsea's own Leo Trossard.
Chelsea's rumored own.
Yeah, gets his first goal in the Arsenal colors. Saka providing the assist. You're thinking, okay, not too bad.
Yeah.
But, Brentford, always dangerous.
Yep.
Always dangerous. 74th minute, they get the goal. Ivan Toney, and that's when the controversy strikes. Was it offside they're reviewing?
Yes.
It was.
Why, yes, it was.
But Lee Mason
Thank you for asking.
forgot to draw the line. How do you forget to draw the line, you ask? I have no idea. When
It's
that's
one
like
of your
one
two job. Yeah, it's one of your 2 jobs. Yeah, and Arsenal right before that, they had almost a counterattack goal. They had a second, but they don't. Brentford goes down. They get the bounce via the referee decision. Just not going Arsenal's way. Yeah, I mean, there's a couple chances at the end. Arsenal had a free kick chance at the end, but Raya was able to claim it. It's, and I know we were talking about how good Eddie Nketiah had been looking. He dropped off a bit. You didn't notice in this game as much. The City game, he had a few more chances that you would have backed him to score at least once. But
Yeah, for sure.
so finishes 1-1. Arsenal hard done once again. Anytime they drop points, it feels like it's because the ref is screwing them over. But what are you going to do?
That do be how it goes sometimes.
Yeah.
Where's Jose Mourinho when you need him?
Fake
There's a
result.
conspiracy against Arsenal.
Yes.
Anyways, moving on to another controversial.
Oh,
game.
man. Oh, man.
Crystal Palace.
We talk about...
versus Brighton.
yeah, let's just get into it. Game starts off, Palace were winning the ball high, and then just like after about like 5 minutes, that just went away. They're just like, yeah, let's actually just sit back and do nothing. It's like, why? I like when you're kind of going for it a bit. And then we have McAllister, who just, I don't know what that was. Did you think that was a red? I forget who the challenge was on. It was like the 6th minute, 7th minute, but he literally just went like studs up right on the guy's shin. And the announcer was like, yeah, that's why they give you shin pads. It's like his whole cleat was going up the guy's like tibia. I think that might have to be a red. No one. I saw a couple of things on Twitter about it where people were saying it should have been a red, but I as soon as it happened, I was like, oh my God.
Very well could have been.
Speaking of McAllister, he was popping up everywhere this game in terms of chances. He had the first good chance.
Yeah. First chance, 11th minute, then another chance, 18th minute. Some nice team play from Brighton. Matoma with a good chance. A little 1-2 with Solly March, tries to pick up far corner, but denied.
Guaita has been kind of hot lately. What the heck's going on?
He's keeping Palace in the game.
He's like, Palace keep giving me 1-year deals over and over.
Palace, their attack has just been
dire.
Dire. Absolutely dire.
Yeah, I mean, Brighton just looked the better side in the middle. And, I mean, in the attack in the first 20 minutes was really all them. Their passing this game was fantastic.
Yeah. Yeah, 32nd minute, Brighton score through a Stupinan after some nice link-up play from Gross, but ruled offside.
Mm-hmm.
You know why it was ruled offside? Because they drew it from the wrong defender. How do you do that? I'm not sure.
That's great. Yeah, I mean, it is honestly a really, really nice move. Put together, and a Stupinan with like a chipped curler looking weird shot that he scuffed.
Stupinan just...
He's got the sauce.
He's got the sauce.
Hitting him. Yeah, first big chance for Palace, though, kind of came after that.
Yeah, a little lackadaisical playing out the back.
Yeah, a little turnover, attacking third, and then Mateta goes for a shot, which was sure goal, but blocked by Veltman, and then virtually a similar sequence, and it's blocked by Webster.
Yeah, bald Mateta has not had the powers.
Yeah, he thought he could channel Lukaku. He needs to gain some weight, then he can be Lukaku.
He is, in fact, a bald fraud. Goes into halftime, 0-0. Second half, Brighton finally get the opening goal. 63rd minute. March pops up at the back post to tap in a ball from Estupinan, the man with the sauce.
Solly March.
Solly March, everyone.
Solly March, everyone.
Solly March, yeah. Having a great season. And then 69 minutes in, Bobby Sanchez.
You want to know what I had written down for
face.
this? No, I had written down for this. I had Bobby Sanchez moment, 1-1.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, this was...
He's good. He's so good for it.
You've heard of vintage Harvey Barnes. This was vintage Bobby Sanchez.
Oh, my gosh. That should be... Now, that's a shirt right there. Vintage Bobby Sanchez.
And it just has like 2 gloves and a ball slipping out of them or something.
Yeah, somehow you get like a GIF on a T-shirt, and it's just like the ball going through the hands.
Yeah.
Just repeatedly.
Get a LED screen or something.
Yes, that's the way to do it. It's like hands, and then the ball going through the hands.
Yeah.
And then the hands, and the ball going through the hands.
Oh, and Michael Tompkins, the unexpected
James
goal.
Tompkins?
James Tompkins.
James Tompkins. We
James
forgot old
Tompkins.
Jim Tompkins. He seems like a guy who shouldn't be in the league anymore. I'll say
He
that.
looks like a Michael to me.
He's been... When was his first year in the Premier League? Like 2012 with West Ham?
A long time ago.
Yeah,
he's been on the outside of the team for like
Ever.
5 years now.
Yeah. It'd be like if Milivojevic just scored in this game. He'd be like, what?
Yeah.
He's on the team?
So anyways, classic Bobby Sanchez there. Brighton pushing for the winner unable to get it. They had a chance for McAllister again, and then another chance for McAllister.
Yeah, even I think even Palace had chances at the end, but it was really none of the chances were better than McAllister chances at the end of the game, to say the least. So it finishes 1-1. A very strange game in terms of with the reffing decisions.
Yeah.
Brighton looking good, and then it's just kind of fading, but it's not because Palace were playing any better. It just looked like they weren't playing as well. I don't know.
Yeah, I thought this was a game that Brighton should have won regardless of the refereeing decision.
That's how I felt, but
Like,
they just didn't play
they
as well as they
shouldn't
had.
they shouldn't have let it come to that.
True.
You know, they should have
Should have
taken care of business.
Yeah. Moving on.
Moving on.
Fulham, Forest.
Fulham.
We cleaned up well on this bet this week.
Yeah, we had some good predictions.
Yeah, we cleaned up well. Yeah, Forest having to make early subs for injuries. That was pretty tough.
The double center backs coming off.
Yeah, that was pretty rough.
Forest moment. Good
That's-
thing you signed 9 million players.
And none of them are center backs minus Willy Bully.
Yeah.
Poop Willy Bully. Yeah, Fulham able to hold possession, but I felt like they weren't all that particularly sharp with it in this one. It felt like a few passing arounds, and it's like, we'll cross it for Mitrovic, and it was always like hung up there too long or something, and it's like,
Mm-hmm.
I felt like they could have been working it better. We have a scramble off a free kick, and the ball bounces to Willian, who just rips/curls it. I don't even know what that was.
This guy's insane. It makes no sense. I mean, the dangle show he put on, and then the shot. What?
I feel bad for Arsenal that he
Yeah,
gets it going for Chelsea and
bamboozled.
Fulham, but not Arsenal. It's because he had a gut at Arsenal.
Yeah.
If he doesn't have a gut, he's good to go. Forrest kind of getting the game after that. Chris Wood was almost on the end of a counterattack chance, kind of tap in, but just out of reach.
Mm-hmm.
What are your thoughts on Chris Wood? He played like 3 games, and that's enough for him to be a permanent transfer to Forest. Did you see that?
Yeah, I saw someone explain that it's just so that they can put the transfer fee into like the next transfer window. You know,
Amazing.
just some creative accounting
Gosh.
like Mr. Bowley loves.
No, Bowley's much better. Much more respectable 9-year contracts rather than loaning Chris Wood.
But I will say, in the 3 games I've watched Chris Wood, he's done nothing.
Yeah.
So
Who would have guessed
who
that?
would have guessed it?
I'm not sure he's probably championship tier still. He could be down there.
People were comparing him to Danny Ings, and I was like,
When was this? A couple years back?
no, like currently.
No
Because they were saying that
way.
teams are spending money on these guys that aren't any good. And it's
And
like
Sam's like, hold up.
completely
Hold
different.
up. Danny Ings can still score
Yeah.
and pass and facilitate. He can do stuff. He just gets hurt a bunch.
Yeah.
Chris Wood's just shit.
Yes.
Oh, my God.
Yes. Exactly.
But we do like, hey, this is no hate on Chris Wood. We like Chris Wood for the fact that he made fun of Kurt Zuma by meowing at him last year.
That's true. That is
Respect.
hilarious. All-time great moments.
All-time great Kiwi, Chris Wood.
Yeah, he's definitely up there in the Premier League Kiwi Hall of Fame. Don't think I could name another one.
Big Navas save on Mitrovic. It's still amazing that Kaylor Navas is on Nottingham Forest for no reason.
Goated.
And then my call, it almost happened. I called the Bobby D. Cordova-Reed game,
Ooh.
and he hits one right off the bar.
From distance, from way downtown.
Yeah.
He almost said splash. I cringed as I said that.
That was a banger.
Pereira had a shot go just wide and then went in halftime 1-0. Second half, Willian almost goes for the double sauce.
Yeah.
Little cut inside from
Yeah,
the left, taking
little
a shot off the post.
Curler off the post. Not much changed in the second half for Forest in terms of just like sitting back, and they just had like no counterattack. It looked like early season Forest where it's like Brendan Johnson's just running, and it's like no one's around him, and you're like, oh, all right.
Yeah, it's like
Okay.
2-on-1,
Yeah,
2 defenders on him.
it's not ideal. Pereira free kick chance off the bar. This game really could have been like 6-0. I'll be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have a note in here that like the 65th minute, I was like, Forest have no chance of even drawing this game. Is a note I had.
Yeah, very bad.
Yeah, it was brutal.
They had a couple chances. 62nd minute, Brendan Johnson catching a volley cleanly from a free kick, but it goes over.
Yeah.
And then Burnley coming up with
Aurier's.
a big save on Aurier's close range header. Very nice save.
Yeah.
It's got to be said. But Fulham get a second goal, 87th minute. Forrest vulnerable at the back. Who could have guessed it? And
Solomon.
Pereira finds Solomon.
First goal.
Scores his first goal to secure all 3 points for Fulham. Another good win for Fulham. Could have been more, but hey, clean sheet.
Yeah.
Forest away are terrible.
Yeah.
They look like Liverpool away.
At least, Forest, they have the home form is good enough to where they can hold on to that. And they're like, well, we can stay up if we just kind of keep plugging in results,
Yeah.
At home. But who knows? We've also seen them blow a 2-0 lead at home to Bournemouth. So
That is true. On to the next game. Another game that we called. Not the score, but the result.
yeah.
Leicester versus Tottenham. We had good feelings about Leicester. I've had good feelings
I couldn't believe it
about
when
Leicester.
Tottenham scored first. I was very surprised. I was like, wow, me and Sam are just going to whiff on this one, I guess. And then it's like, well, Tottenham's defense moment.
First half Tottenham has now turned into they score, but they still end up either being tied or losing by the end of the half.
Yeah, let's get into it. Betancourt, early chance. I think he sailed it, if I remember. It was from the edge of the box. Nice worked passing sequence, but doesn't work out for him. And then James Madison had a little free kick chance, but could have been better. I'm always a fan of just taking the free kick. I get it might be too close to get it up and down. I'd rather have you try and drill it under the wall or through the wall or something.
Never.
The whole lay it off to the side and try and curl it.
Yeah.
Do you remember anyone other than the Toni Kroos Royce one at the 2018 World Cup where that works? I feel like that never works.
Yeah. Seems like it rarely does.
Yeah. But you got Christensen.
Christensen, man, coming up clutch.
Somewhat.
Clearance off the line.
Yeah, he clears it off the line in the most improbable way, off his thigh and hits it straight in the air and it popped over.
Yeah.
And then the next
how's this
time
happen?
he couldn't sort his feet and he passed it right to Betancourt. And
Hey,
then,
welcome to the Leicester experience, brother.
you know what? I had this in my notes. I had Christensen says in all caps, "We are not OGFC, but Tot score off the next corner" as he scuffs it to Betancourt.
They've improved. They're not
Yeah.
scoring the goals directly themselves.
Yes, they're just walking it in virtually and handing it to the other team.
Yeah, that was a bit of a mess. But Leicester got the equalizer less than 10 minutes later, and this time Betancourt clearing the initial corner, but only as far as Mendy, who just hits a pile driver.
He's another one of those guys. It's the week of random guys scoring. We got James Tompkins. We got Mendy. It's wait, this guy's still playing?
Yeah, this guy, who apparently has made over 100 appearances for Leicester.
Do you really
How is that
count
possible?
FA Cup and if you're watching the Europa League when they're in it or the Europa Conference League, it's okay. Yeah. Doesn't float my boat, but okay.
It makes no sense. And then 2 minutes later, Leicester take the lead.
Oh, my God, Tottenham. Just turning the ball over.
Wout Foss with an incredible tackle to win the ball up and spring the attack to Iheanacho, who's the new number 9,
Yeah.
as I called it last episode. Rolls across to James Madison, who slots it. Eric Dyer just caught in, I don't know.
Iheanacho's the striker version of Madison. You just need to get him confidence, then he gets rolling, and you're like, oh, man.
Yeah,
It's unstoppable.
He is such a confidence player. And it's 100 or 0.
Yes.
Iheanacho had another chance right
before
after making a nice run.
Oh, that one, too.
Yeah. Leicester with the majority of the possession, pressing well.
Tottenham just looked silly poor in this game.
Yeah, Tottenham looked awful without Romero, their defense is awful.
Yeah.
I mean, they're playing freaking Tanganga out here. This guy's a championship player. I don't know what to say. They're playing.
He might be
What
like,
was their defense? It was
he might be worse than that.
Dyer, Tanganga, Davis, and
Pedro Porro. He looked amazing.
Pedro Porro, welcome to the Premier League.
You know what Pedro Porro translates to in English? Pedro Bad.
Pedro Bad.
Yep.
Pedro Bad.
Pedro Poor.
He's walking in the footsteps of Emerson Royale with cheese.
Who it got hot, and now he's nowhere. Where is he at? Nowhere.
Yeah.
Nowhere.
Just before halftime, Leicester had a third goal. Harry Sutar with a nice long ball up.
Yeah.
I like this guy. The big lad. Up to Iheanacho, cuts inside, creates space, finds a shot, and picks the bottom corner. Just some...
There's something about Leicester when they have that going, they're actually enjoyable.
Yeah,
They have that going, they're scoring goals.
That song rips.
I can get behind Leicester then.
I'm all on board.
When they look like trash without James Maddison, it's like, I don't want to ever see you again.
Yeah, they do look a different team. Goes into halftime, 3-1. Second half, not a whole lot of action. I mean, Tottenham just kind of gave up. It felt like.
Yeah, and the Betancourt injury, tough. I mean,
Betancourt
we're not
with
big
the
Betancourt guys, but clearly he's, I would say, their best midfielder without a doubt.
Yeah, 100%.
Really tough to see him go down. Going to be out like 6 months or so, maybe more, 6 to 9 months probably, realistically.
Yeah, that's a huge loss. He carries a lot of weight in that midfield.
Yeah.
Especially considering like who the next man up in that position is. I mean, it's just...
What do? You push Højbjerg forward, and then you got Ollie Skip, come on down.
Ollie Skip, welcome back. Welcome back to the team. Iheanacho had a header go wide, and then 70th minute, Leicester cap off for 4 goals, taking advantage of the poor wing-back play.
They had the disallowed one.
They had a disallowed goal.
Yeah.
I didn't make my notes, but hey.
Harvey Barnes disallowed, and then vintage Harvey Barnes comes out, and it's a Harvey party.
Yes, vintage Harvey Barnes for the 4-1, and that's how it ends. Leicester, wow.
Laying the smack it down.
What a great result. These are the results that stick in my brain when Leicester are struggling. I'm like, I know they can do that.
I don't know if they can. It's just James Maddison. But I don't know. Now Iheanacho's got it going, so maybe they could do it without Maddison.
If Iheanacho can do it.
To an extent.
It definitely helps.
Yes. As far as Tottenham go, we have Conte not there.
Yes.
Because of his health issues. We have Kane forever potentially rumored to leave because
I want to see him go to Bayern.
Because, yeah.
For the most random transfer ever.
Yeah, FIFA transfer, if there ever was one.
100%.
Son is just...
washed.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Now you have Bentancur out like 6 months.
Romero's out here getting red cards.
Well, that's going to happen regardless. Rain, sun, or shine, Romero's getting a red.
Every fullback to buy just ends up being terrible.
Yeah, it's not even like they're good at defense or attack, and there's just like they're good at nothing. It's like, how does that happen? Who's scouting your wingbacks? So Tottenham in 5th, would you say they finished the year higher, lower, or 5th?
Lower.
Lower? Where would you bet them to finish?
I'd have to look at the table, but...
Right here, who's below them? I'm not going to make you look it up. Brighton with 2 games in hand, and they're 4 points behind.
Yeah.
Fulham, same amount of games, 4 points behind. Brentford, 1 game in hand, 5 points behind. Liverpool, 7 points behind, 2 games in hand. Chelsea, a game in hand, and 8 points behind.
Man, I feel like Brighton definitely could. Fulham, maybe. I don't know. They're on one. I don't see any way that Tottenham goes up from here.
Yeah.
It seems like things are just going down.
Yeah, it feels like everything's kind of getting piled on. It would literally take Harry Kane to just...
Hard carry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What else is new about that club?
Yeah, that's true.
It would take Newcastle to just never keep scoring more than 1 goal a game, too. That would also help. I don't know. I have a feeling that Tottenham will finish 6th, but I don't know who will finish ahead of them. If I had... gun to my head, had to bet, I think I might go Fulham. I don't know. I think I'm just mesmerized by Fulham. I love this squad. I don't know what it is.
Maybe. Yeah.
But your Brighton boys, they can make it happen
They
too.
They could.
What do we got next?
Southampton.
Here's 2 teams that won't finish above Tottenham in any way, shape, or form.
Southampton versus Wolves. Another one which I predicted
You
correctly.
did. I went for the draw. You went for the Wolves win.
I know Wolves.
And you got the double. You got the W's.
W for Wolves. Shout out Big Plumber Joe.
Oh, he's on a burner now. He's really hype. He's telling us not to jinx it, but yet he's sitting there saying, "We are staying up." He's chanting it.
Yep.
It's unbelievable.
Yep. That's
It's
right.
like Sam bragging about Arsenal winning the league, and then if we mention it, he's like, "Hey, stop." It's like, all right.
See, the funny thing is, you won't find me on record once saying Arsenal is going to win the league.
That's what I'm saying. It's like that.
Yes.
Um,
That's why it's so ridiculous.
Wolves, a lot of possession early, but Southampton press kind of making it hard in midfield for Wolves. They didn't look too sharp early.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I thought it was pretty even start to the game.
Yeah, I would say that, given how Wolves midfield has looked the last couple of games, I didn't expect Southampton to really play as well as they did in that part of the park. But I feel like their new signings are really actually kind of solid. Don't you feel that way?
Yeah, I think so.
I think this Kamaluddin guy is like not really, really good, but I think he's good.
Yeah, he definitely bumps it up a level. He kind of reminds me of like St. Maximin at Newcastle when Newcastle were really bad. And you're like, this guy's just
better than everyone.
A step ahead of everyone.
Yeah. I think Alcaraz is pretty solid so far. He ends up scoring a goal this game, which you don't really expect, but kind of just like ball winning scenarios and stuff, I feel like he's pretty good. I think this is another ref moment. Holy ref moment. Lamina already on a yellow, just walking to the ref, not saying anything, is the third guy walking to the ref. So the ref feels, because he's the third guy, and this was the justification given, because there are already people there, and then he started walking, he gets another yellow. I mean, that's...
It seems like there must have been something that was said, because he wasn't even...
But that's
the ref wasn't looking at Lamina coming in towards him.
That's the thing, though, is apparently nothing was said. The players say it, and I'm pretty sure the ref said it too. I don't know.
I mean, if nothing was said, then it's ridiculous. But if something was said, then I think it's...
Even then...
I don't have a problem with it.
That's
when you're on a yellow, you
especially
can't
when
be
he didn't
smack talking the ref.
Especially he didn't even commit the foul.
He was complaining about a prior incident.
Where he thought he got fouled. Right?
Yeah.
So
I don't know.
the
I thought it was
ultimate
funny.
The ultimate revenge game for Lamina ends short.
Yeah, that's why I thought it was funny.
He's sent off.
The Southampton fans were just mugging him off.
Now, what's funny, and it's in a sadistic way, is the fact that this Wolves side going down to 10 men, in the words of Nathan Jones, was an advantage for Wolves.
Hey, of all the great footballing minds, Nathan Jones, definitely one of them.
Of one of the former Premier League managers who has been sacked, Nathan Jones is one of them.
He's also one of those, yes.
Southampton in control, not great in attack. Their passing was just... It's kind of like Fulham against Forest early on in that game, where it's just like you kind of pass it around and then you eventually send a cross in, and it's like, what are you doing?
Yeah. It made no sense how they got worse.
Yeah. Bednarek had a chance and fired it right into the defense before half.
And it was funny because it wasn't like your typical when a team gets a man sent off and they just sit back. Like Wolves were just playing like regular.
Wolves, yeah.
It's like, how are you?
This is a bad sign for Mr. Lamina. They played the exact same, and they actually look kind of better. Goes in halftime 1-0 Southampton. Second half, almost doubled the lead, Southampton that is, off a back pass, but Sa sweeps it off the foot of Suleimana. Very close. Max Kilman bailed out.
How about that diving header from Suleimana?
That was great.
That form was just immaculate.
I like this guy.
I wanted that to go in so bad.
I think Southampton, whether they go down or stay up, I think if they go down, they're primed to like run the championship next year if they keep these guys. Even if you sell like Ward-Prowse and stuff and you bring in some like championship tier midfielders. If you have a guy like Suleimana down there, how many times have we seen it? It just like keeps you afloat. If you have like one good attack guy down there.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know if they'll be able to hang on to him, but
well, we'll see. Yeah, what else did we have? James Ward-Prowse free kick chance wasted. But Wolves start kind of building some possession around the 65th minute. And the Wolves score on an own goal. It's the man who Saints fans hate, Jan Bednarak. He trashed the club, saying he wants bigger and better aspirations, so he goes to Villa on loan, doesn't play, comes back to Southampton, immediately concedes an own goal when they're in a relegation fight.
Refuses to elaborate, leaves.
It was really just great because he couldn't clear his feet or like sort his feet out.
Yeah, it was
just the most naff moment
it was comical.
I've ever seen.
It was comical.
Wolves counterattack chance, but passes too far for Sarabia. And then we get the goal. Southampton turned the ball over kind of in midfield, a little closer to their own end.
Two Southampton players running into each other.
Very nice. João Gomez, the new signing for Wolves. I think he's a teenager. He's like 21. They recently just got him out of Brazil. Little giveaway, but he like dangled it around it, flicked it up over a guy, and then ripped it upper 90.
Yeah,
it's very nice. And then Southampton kind of go out with a whimper as they have a free kick chance at the end, but it wasn't really put to good use. Finishes 2-1 Wolves. Great bounce back character win for Wolves. It's enough to see Nathan Jones sacked
after
from Southampton.
9 games.
I mean, it's unlucky for him, the fact that he used up all his wins in cup games, one of which was beating Man City. But what are you going to do? I mean, the guy had very odd tactics and kind of
personality.
Yeah, it didn't really seem real.
Philosophy. Yeah, I think it was a fever dream.
Nathan
Jones is just a figment of our imagination.
Well, they said as soon as he came in and kind of pitched ideas, the players were like just not vibing with it, I guess. And I guess the only person that you'd really think about that would have an input to where it mattered would be Ward-Prowse. So
yeah.
I'm assuming he came in and pitched some ideas, and Ward-Prowse was like, yeah, what are you talking about? And then he's like, no, I'm going to sign Luton Town players to come play for us.
You see, James, I could have been in the coal mines in Wales with a nice Welsh woman.
And when the opposing team goes down to 10 men, it's their advantage.
It's their advantage. I don't think he didn't get a point at home.
No.
Yeah.
And I think they had 6 of 9 home games, or at least 5 of 9. I know they had the majority of home games. No, he could not get it going.
What a legend. What a legend.
What a weirdo.
Such a weirdo. We need more weirdos. Except you got to win a little bit more.
Yeah. It brought me back to seeing the shortest stints, and it was, who was it? It wasn't De Boer, which I thought it would have been De Boer, but it wasn't him. But I guess De Boer was 6 games, 7 games? It was 7 games.
I thought it was 7.
He went 0-7 with 0 goals.
Yeah, that
but
guy.
there was someone.
Frauds.
There was someone before him, and it was only like 44 days. I was like, wow. You know who made the list was your guy, Bob Bradley.
Bob Bradley, Swansea. Let's go.
I thought he was there longer than like 2 months.
Brad Bobley, the original Jesse Marsh.
Yeah, the bald Jesse Marsh. He went with the bald move too soon.
Yeah, exactly.
Premier League wasn't ready for that.
And speaking of Southampton, while we're on the manager talk, heavily linked to Jesse Marsh.
Yeah.
But then they said, hey, we can only offer you a 6-month contract.
Which is really weird. I feel like Marsh would be, even if you went down, you would want Marsh in the championship. I feel like he'd be fine down there.
Yeah.
And
he kept Wolves up.
I think what's weird, Wolves, you mean Leeds?
Leeds, sorry, yeah.
I think what was
They
weird
beat
about that
Wolves.
is people were like, oh, this is shambolic, because like Southampton apparently was tracking him for their like 7 years. And it's
Yeah.
like, but they have a whole new board, so it's like, what does that even matter?
That's true.
I think it's just shambolic, the fact that you paid like $9 million for Nate Jones. That's absurd. That's like, you might as well have thrown $9 million at Pochettino for 7 months, been like, hey, here's this. Come coach our team for a bit.
Luton Town, sitting pretty,
Yeah.
laughing all the way to the bank.
Hey, they're sitting in fourth. Maybe they'll bring Nathan Jones
Bring
back.
it back.
Probably not. They're like, no, we're good.
That
Thank
guy's
you.
insane.
No, we're thank you. We're lucky we got here with him.
New phone, who dis?
Moving on, staying with the South Coast team, Bournemouth, Newcastle, the furthest travel for match
I like it.
for Newcastle.
Coast to coast.
Yeah, the north to south.
You know why else I like this game? Because it fell right into our predictions of a 1-1.
How about that?
Man, we
We
were
were
on
killing
this week.
We were killing
You
it.
know, sometimes we get them.
Sometimes we're on a burner.
Sometimes we look like idiots, but hey,
Not this one.
we're no Nathan Jones. Yeah, starting off, Bournemouth, I thought they were looking pretty good, actually. They showed some good energy, and that's something that they've showed at home more often than on the road, for sure. Also helps having big Dom Solanke back. He had a chance 13 minutes in, putting a header into the bottom corner. Pope getting a hand to it. And they opened up the scoring in the 30th minute. Senesi popping up at the back post after flick on from Mr. Dango.
Yeah,
You love to see it.
he's there. It was honestly a really good routine. And the ball from Traore. You know, I feel,
Yeah.
and that's the thing about like Southampton and Bournemouth, where it's like they'll probably go down, but I like some of these guys they brought in. They look good.
Yeah. Yeah, Traore. I liked him. The delivery on that one was really nice.
Yeah, he's aight.
He's all right. Harry McGuigar. Newcastle didn't have a whole lot going, but they did get the equalizer just before halftime. Hitting on the break, Longstaff shot rebounds to Miggy Almiron, draws level just before halftime. That's a real gut punch to Bournemouth, who played really well in the first half.
Yeah, I thought Newcastle just really not able to get in the right spots and attack, really not able to have any line-breaking passes and stuff, and they're just not making the right runs. I thought that St. Maximin was really Newcastle's only good player in the first half, rather. But, you know, they do have this kind of quick break where St. Maximin finds Longstaff, who shoots, and then the rebound obviously goes to Almiron and stuff. But yeah, that's tough. That's tough for Bournemouth. They weren't really ever caught out. They did a good job not getting caught out, and then the one time they do, wouldn't you know it, they get punished.
Yeah. Goes into halftime. 1-1. Second half, not a whole lot of action. I mean, Newcastle looked better in the second half for sure.
Yeah. Well, that first one was for Longstaff, who could have passed, should have passed. Instead, he just kept walking in and then shot and went right at Neto.
Yeah. Neto spilling it, making a little nervy moment.
Oh yeah, that one too, where he like got crashed into. That was tough.
Mm-hmm.
I was just happy to see St. Maximin out there. Always puts a smile on my face.
Yeah. Yeah, Newcastle had more possession and they looked better. Bournemouth dropped off in the second half. But neither team finding the breakthrough goal. Chance in the 90th minute. Dom Solanke has a chance cleared off the line by Trippier. I don't know. I always want to say Trippier. And it was about as close as you can get.
That was insane. He like touched it and it went virtually like straight up. It was still kind of rolling back a bit.
Yeah.
I I didn't see the official like VAR goal line technology thing, but the ball had to be at least like 75% over the line.
Oh, 100%. It was probably like 90%. It was crazy. Great clearance. Finishes 1-1. Good point for Bournemouth. Newcastle, another draw. They've kind of been in a little bit of a draw.
It's one of those,
cycle.
honestly, one of those results where you go in and it's like it looks bad on paper and it looks bad coming out of it. But if you watch the game, they easily could have lost this and not got a point at all.
That's true.
They, for chunks, they got outplayed by Bournemouth, I thought.
Yeah. And Bournemouth, you're thinking, I mean, they're getting draws, but
you need some wins at some point. But that one definitely going in for Bournemouth, you wouldn't have thought you get the win, but you're sitting there and you got to be kicking yourself somewhat, not getting a win there, to say the least.
Yeah, playing as well as they did. Moving on to the next game. Leeds.
Leeds.
With a recently fired head coach of Jesse Marsh.
Yeah, what's their new manager's name? It's one of those where like I'll see it and I'll be like, oh yeah, but I can never remember it off the top of my head.
I don't think it says in here.
I thought it does at the bottom.
No,
but you just reminded me. Leeds still have Joel Robles.
Yeah, man.
Wow, you really can't get the list of a manager? That's absurd. Whatever, it doesn't matter. Yeah, Leeds kind of started off buzzing early. Somerville had a good chance, but took United a while to kind of grow into the game as they kind of slowed it down a bit.
Yeah. They did not look very good. Leeds were pressing super hard and just like flying into tackles.
Oh, yeah.
That was pretty funny.
Man U is about to go goon squad, too. There's another almost fight in this one. We didn't even talk about in the Bournemouth game. There's the shoving between Dan Burn and Lerma. But
Lerma, Mr. Walking, yellow card.
Yeah. No, United, I thought, did a good job in this one. You almost just have to try and suck the life out of Elland Road.
Yeah.
That's like your main thing that you're concerned about is if Leeds are pressing and kind of creating some chances and stuff, the crowd hyping them up is really going to put them over the top.
Was going freaking nuts at the start of that game. They were so invested.
As always.
And the players were just using that energy.
Feeding.
Making every run, pressing hard.
What are your thoughts on McKinney so far?
I think he's been decent.
Yeah.
Nothing too great, but he does add, a bit of steel in the midfield. A little physical presence.
Yeah, I think it's one of those things where I'm always somewhat disappointed in him because I feel like he should do a bit more in attack than he is capable of. But
yeah,
if you just go in there knowing that he's kind of, in a sense, a shithouse kind of player where he's going to go in with some Brexit tackles, then you know what, you're not going to be disappointed and he can come through for your expectations.
And I feel like that kind of fits into the Leeds philosophy. They like guys like that.
Yeah.
You don't have to be the most technical, but
give the effort, run.
Put in 100%, yeah.
Put in a shift, as Sam would say.
Put in a shift. Just before halftime, scramble in the United box. Somerville nearly gets the opener. And then a mistake from my guy, Verber. Needs to a one-on-one for Bruno with the keeper. But Meslier makes a stop. Goes into halftime, 0-0. Second half.
Before we move on.
Yes.
No, I'll just do it at the end. You finish the game. I'll talk to you at the end.
Second half, United looked better. They were in more control, looked a little more confident on the ball, made some substitutions. Dalot had a shot ripping from distance off the crossbar. Somerville had another chance, saved by De Gea. The kick save, that was a nice one.
Yes.
And then at the other end, just a couple of minutes later, Rashford gets another goal. The man cannot be stopped. Luke Shaw playing a nice ball into the box.
Is there a reason he's rumored to the biggest club in the world, Arsenal, right now?
What?
You didn't see that?
No, I didn't see that.
It's rumored that Arsenal are really going to push for him in the summer.
Yeah,
which I don't know why. I don't know why
would
United
sell?
would. Yeah, he's finally back to doing what he can do. Now we let him move.
Yeah, exactly.
So we can bring in
He's overcome
Antony.
his terrible form, and now
Now we can unleash Anthony.
Exactly.
Le Spinny Boy.
Le Spinny Boy. Oh, yeah. And then Garnacho, the sub, doubles the lead with a nice run down the left. Shoots in off the near post. Really nice shot there.
Yeah, rough game for him last time out against Leeds. Bounces back with a goal this game. Nice to see. Nice to see for the young lad.
Yeah. Disappointing for Leeds. I thought they showed good energy in the first half. They just
That's kind of how they were
couldn't get the goal.
to start the year, too.
Pat Bamford is a bum.
Get him out of town.
The man's got a first touch like a lead foot.
Was Pat Bamford in that comp you were reading about Danny Ings and Chris Wood?
Oh, man.
They probably would have thrown him in there, and that's when you say, Danny Ings is better than this.
I guarantee if you took a popular opinion poll that people would rate Patrick Bamford above those guys.
There's no way.
Even though there's no justification.
I don't think so.
People don't, it takes a long time for people to change their opinions.
Yeah, I suppose. I feel like it's been long enough.
It's like,
where
oh
people
yeah,
would be
didn't he
like,
have a guy? He had a great season.
He had a 15-goal year 3 years ago.
3 years ago, yeah.
I was going to say about United, it's one of those things because Rashford's popping off. Obviously, Casemiro's impact has been massive.
Mm-hmm.
I think we're back to Bruno playing really well.
Yeah.
He's doing a lot of the kind of more nitty-gritty stuff, so you don't see as much of it.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like it's kind of going under the radar because, if you had to pick a player for United's Player of the Year, you'd probably go Rashford just because of how in form he is and stuff right now.
Yeah, 100%.
And then you might have to consider probably Casemiro second because once they got him in, it was night and day. But Bruno, I just feel like he's kind of getting back to what he was, and he was doing that right before the World Cup, and he carried in the World Cup, and I feel like he's kind of got his swagger back a bit.
Yeah, it definitely helps when you have some
Help
better
behind
players,
you. Some help behind you.
yeah, to work with.
I would say so.
When he's not having to play like just outside of his own box.
Yeah, fair enough.
But yeah, good win for United away from home. And moving on to the next match. The second game on Sunday.
City.
Manchester City versus Aston Villa.
This one was all Man City, and it was all Man City early.
Yeah.
Guy Rodri with a header early, which was, I felt like it was right at Martinez. Not an easy save, I'm saying, but it was
savable. Yeah.
That's your top 3 keeper in the world according to FIFA Club, whatchamacallit, their like prestigious awards. Gundogan playing through Martinez saves. There's something about Villa's defense that's very leaky at the moment.
Yeah.
After Villa had it going for a while, now it's like, ooh. Not the best.
It's definitely not the best.
Grealish almost had a very dirty first-time volley off a corner. Haaland getting a chance off a corner, cleared away. People are really on Haaland's case about not scoring enough these days. God, I guess getting 25 goals by January, February is not enough for people these days.
Absolutely nuts.
Maybe he makes them worse.
It's an interesting impression.
That's people who hate on Erling Haaland and Man City. Amazing Kevin De Bruyne run and Grealish, good shot, but saved by Martinez. I'm just impressed by it. They're really getting Grealish going now.
Yeah.
They had to get Cancelo out of there so Grealish could just
he could shine.
Emerge.
Fair enough.
Yeah, and then City get their second goal. Haaland just covers an immense amount of space in the shortest amount of time possible. He looks so fast, it's not even real. He waits for help, slides it over to Gundogan for 2-0 at the back post. People reminiscing how it was the goal against Villa last year to close it out at the end of the year. And then right before half, Grealish brought down. Again, Man City players looking for penalties, but what are you going to do? Mahrez slots it for 3-0.
Yeah, that contact was minimal, to say the least.
What are you going to do, Villa? Maybe you shouldn't be putting yourself in this situation.
That's true.
So it goes 3-0, and then Man City working some Rodri chances. Martinez really had a busy day today. And Man City were just virtually sharp almost the whole day, but giveaway in midfield leads to Watkins in on goal, and he converts. Ollie Watkins makes it 1-3.
Yeah, who would have guessed it that Villa would score a goal in this game?
What are you going to do? Ollie Watkins, he's well on his way to 20 goals like I predicted at the beginning of the year. If he didn't have Steven Gerrard to handicap him, his goal should be times 1.5 at this point. Man City, counterattack, leading the Grealish dime for Alvarez, but the header was blocked off the line. Villa, got some pity chances in the last 10 minutes or so. And Mahrez had just possibly the shank of the year to close it out. Perfect chance to score. Did nothing. Then we have your guy, the Chicago's own, Mr. Is it John Duran or what is, how do you say that?
I think it is John.
I hate it. Why is it Jhon?
Yeah, I know. It's
I hate your
weird.
name, guy. But John Duran with an absolute blast off the bar. Other than that, that was it.
That's
3-1 City taking care of business. Plenty of chances throughout for, honestly, both sides. But, Villa's defense just really not on point today.
Yeah, they got a ways to go.
And I think City are kind of starting to get it rolling after they fell down for a little bit. We're stumbling.
Oh, isn't it funny? City start picking up form when they start playing Gundogan more.
Yeah,
That's what I've been saying. You got to play this guy. He just unlocks everything. The offense,
He's
the
the
defense.
ultimate 8.
He should be playing every single game, and I don't know why he doesn't sometimes, because he just makes City a different team. And I hate to say it, but they're well on their way to the title charge.
Yeah, but if you consider this about United, second half of the year, we're doing a title charge.
Title charge. We beat Leeds, Ellen Road, Marcus Rashford.
It's over. We're back. It's over. We're back.
Oh, on to the Monday game, the Merseyside derby.
Wow, this might be the worst one ever.
It reminded me of a good, 8 years ago when both teams were just mediocre.
8 years ago?
I don't know.
Maybe. 2016?
or something.
2013? The Everton had that 1
was
year.
10 years ago.
Yeah, well, that Everton said
2014.
Lukaku, Morales, and they were still hanging around 5th and 6th.
Yeah,
Maybe
when
if you're
Everton
thinking-
finished above Liverpool.
If you're thinking right before Klopp, then maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, this one, Liverpool, their shape looked better this game, I guess, again. But a lot of hoofball to start. And then they started to link up eventually, getting some passes together.
Yeah, we're getting that Sean Dyche hoofball, and they even threw in Sims. They're like,
Ellis Sims.
Mappa, you suck.
Well, yeah, I mean, what else are you going to do? Calvert-Lewin used all his good health to play against Arsenal.
Yep. He channeled it for one game and one game only.
And he played amazing.
Yep.
Big Gakpo chance headed wide.
Everton had a chance from a corner, Tarkovsky.
Yeah.
Back post header hitting the post. And then
The counterattack.
The counterattack
The 2-goal
at
swing,
the
if there
other
ever
end.
was one.
hit through Salah. That's some misfortune for Everton.
Yeah, Pickford kind of misreading. Thought it'd go really far. It ended up going only kind of far, and then Salah had a tap in.
Got kind of stuck in no man's land. I mean, both teams didn't look very good in possession
No,
whatsoever.
that's being kind.
A lot of giveaways.
It was a brutal game to watch. It was hard on my eyes.
Halftime goes in 1-0. Second half, Liverpool add a second. They break quickly. And Trent Alexander-Arnold's deflected pass falls to Cody Gakpo at the back post. Scores his first goal in the Liverpool colors.
Wow.
Cody Gakpo, welcome to Liverpool. Our guy Darwin Habibi.
Yeah, he got in there. He didn't score, but he got in there.
He got in. He, made Pickford make a save.
I just can't wait for next year when he's unleashed.
Yeah.
Because he can't start it this year. He has to wait a whole year.
Yeah, exactly. Why waste it on this year? No, second half, I mean, Everton really had nothing going. The first half, they at least had, like, the hoof ball. The second half, it was just nothing.
Yeah, this gave me a lot less faith than Dyche keeping him up.
Yeah, they had a chance through Tom Davis coming in, but his back post header sailed over the bar. And then there was some good meme content as Jordan Pickford and Andy Robertson have a little coming together. And then there's a further scuffle after the teammates get involved.
Yeah, I thought it was kind of funny, and then I saw Liverpool people clowning Everton. It's like, you shit-housing Everton. What world do we live in?
Not cool.
Not even not cool. Like, you sit there and talk about how great Klopp and your squad has been and all they've accomplished, and then you're sitting here and Everton's 18th and you're 10th, and you're shithousery, epic shithousery, bro. Congratulations.
Play epic troll Liverpool.
Yeah. Big ups.
I just thought it was funny that the scuffle came after, like, Pickford and Robertson came together, and then they were kind of laughing it out, and then everyone else came, and then they started pushing each other.
Yeah.
Made no sense. Mo Salah had a chance just before the end of the game, but Mo Salah has been not very good this year.
Trash.
Finishes 2-0. It was a Merseyside derby.
It was one of them.
It was
just
one
like
of them.
Nathan Jones was a Premier League manager. He was one of them. This was one of the Merseyside derbies.
Yeah. All right, so that wraps it up this week. Catch you again next week.
Last game of the week. It was the biggest kahuna that there ever was. Arsenal, City. Honestly started off really well for Arsenal. Arsenal controlling the flow of the game. Really had most of the attack going. I thought that their wide play was well. They were working City.
I thought Saka was looking pretty good.
Yeah, it was looking like it was going to go nice for him. Throughout this game, again, with the missing Jesus, Nketiah had a few chances in this one and just really did not take them.
Yeah, definitely should have scored at least one of them.
Yeah.
And City really, they didn't look very good at the first half.
No, I think Pep got his tactics not completely wrong, but they weren't that great.
They were quite wrong.
Yeah, they were definitely not correct. Tomiyasu, back pass, intercepted by De Bruyne. De Bruyne with the chip. 1-0 City.
I've cursed Tomiyasu by getting his jersey.
Oh, yeah, you did. The Rob Holding Tomiyasu curse.
Well, you know, all my guys eventually end up on the bench.
Right.
Tyranny.
Yes. Arsenal.
Burnley, no keeper kid.
Arsenal get it back, though, right before half. The penalty. I thought it was really strange because normally they don't call that. Not to say it's not a penalty, but normally that's like never called when you dribble past the keeper and the keeper like doesn't really run into you. Like he was just kind of there posted, but the way that Nketiah dribbled it, it wasn't really around him. It was strange.
I think it 100% comes down to the fact that it was called on the field.
Yeah, I suppose. There's no overturning it because it's not a clear, obvious error.
Yeah.
Saka slots after Ederson points where he wants him to shoot it and then doesn't dive that way because he's a smiley face neck tattoo man.
Yeah, nice mind games.
Yeah.
Not.
Goes in halftime 1-1. Second half, Haaland draws the penalty but is off. That was a big break for Arsenal there.
Yeah.
Arsenal had possession in this one, but it definitely wasn't as cutting edge as the first half in attack.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, there was like very little in terms of the ball in the final third even.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was kind of hanging around midfield more. Man City, quick passing sequence, leads to Gucci Grealish for 2-1. They'll win the ball back.
It's just too easy.
Short, quick passes. Yeah, I felt like Arsenal's back line this game was a bit just out of sorts enough to where it threw them off. Because the way Haaland was being played on in some of these scenarios, it's like, why? What are you doing? And then unlucky on the deflection I think is Tomiyasu, like, kind of deflected it. Was it Tomiyasu or was it Gabriel? They look
It
the
might have
same
been
to me.
Gabriel. Yeah, very similar.
Tough one for Jaka. We talked about his form dropping earlier in the podcast. Just like walking it up, I think he really wanted to pass, but City played him to pass in that situation, and he wasn't quite ready to shoot, and it never opened, so then he went to shoot, and by that time it was too late, and it got blocked.
Yeah.
Which is weird, because I feel like when Xhaka does shoot, it is like where he's walking into the ball, and then he just blasts it from like the edge of the box.
Mm-hmm.
But what are you going to do? And then Gundogan to Kevin De Bruyne, who, again, was played through because Arsenal's backline was out of sorts, who slides over to Haaland, and Haaland slots it far post 3-1. Only real chance of note to close the game, Eddie Nketiah had a weird, like, kind of glancing header that went wide. It's a tough one for Arsenal. I feel like they didn't play that bad to lose 3-1. Maybe to lose 2-1, or maybe 3-2, but they could have easily drawn this game too. One has shocked me, but
Yeah,
it really came down to finishing. Wasn't all that spectacular.
They didn't get dominated. They just gave up easy chances. And then in attack, they just were very
Lackluster compared to what they had been.
And, going into this game, no Thomas Partey, you're thinking, oh, God. But really,
I thought
Jorginho
was
did a great
probably
job.
one of their better players this game.
Yeah,
Yeah, he held it together.
definitely. Yeah, it was just the back line. It didn't look very sharp.
So we sit here, Man City technically atop the lead. Arsenal have a game in hand. United third, Newcastle fourth. It's really still a two-team race. People can sit there and talk about United all they want. I don't see it, but what do I know?
No, I think City has all the momentum now, and it seems like they're clicking.
It's because this Pep villain arc is hilarious. Did you see what he said about Gerrard this week?
Yeah, he said,
How is it our fault that Steven
That he
Gerrard
slipped.
slipped?
yeah.
He wasn't even at the club, and he's just like defending Man City, saying, how is it our fault Gerrard slipped? That is so funny. That is insanely funny to drop that.
You know what else I want to address?
What?
All of this damn... Oh, Arsenal. They've already won the title.
Oh,
we can't
Pep
catch
doing
up
that?
to him. Everyone. Literally everyone gawking over Arsenal, and it's like... It feels so disingenuous, and it's like...
To be fair, there's
some
many...
professional anti-jinxers.
There were a lot of Arsenal people that were getting a bit too excited, to say the
Well,
least.
I wasn't one of them.
I know you
I've
weren't,
kept
but there
my feet
were...
on the ground.
Did you see that one tweet that went viral of it was like, Merry Christmas, everyone, and the guy wearing a white T-shirt with the table, and it had Arsenal at the top?
Yeah.
Some like famous Arsenal fan on the internet. It's like, all right, this is why these bad things happen, unfortunately.
Well, I'm just sick of Pep trying to play the
underdog.
the plucky
Yeah.
Man City. Bruh.
Bro, they just had João Cancelo stolen from them.
That's illegal. That's
just
illegal.
stolen
That's
from
a
them. They have to
crime
play
against
Rico
humanity.
Lewis now, bruh. Let's get to some predictions.
Yeah.
Let's see if we can stay hot.
Yeah.
There's a couple I feel really good about this week.
Let us.
All right. Villa Park. We have Villa, Arsenal. Asked Sam last night about this if he was feeling good. I don't know. I was feeling good about Villa. Now their defense, I'm questionable about it, but I don't know. We'll see.
February
Arsenal's
Arsenal,
defense,
dude.
Arsenal's attack hasn't been that great, but they could be a good rebound game against Villa, especially if Arsenal aren't really super crazy in terms of like pressing and stuff. But if Villa are trying to build out the back, they can make mistakes easily, and Arsenal can kind of do their little quick build-up play. I'll say that Arsenal grab it 2-1, but I don't feel great.
I'm going to say 2-2.
Okay. Brentford Palace at the G-Tech Community Stadium. Brentford, hot. They're rolling. Palace, hanging in there, but it's really a detriment to their... Well, detriment, that's not the right word. Their attack is being kind of carried by the rest of the team. The keeping in defense.
Yeah.
could see this be a slight drop-off game for Brentford, but I really don't have faith in Palace scoring, so I'm going to go with a 1-0 Brentford victory.
I'm still digging Brentford. I think 2-0.
Okay. Brighton Fulham at the Amex. Fulham away, not as good as Fulham at home, but still not bad. Brighton, they've been clicking. This may be the battle for who passes Tottenham in the long run.
Yeah.
Brighton haven't impressed me as much the last week or two, but
Mm-hmm.
they've
been a little drop off in their form.
I'm going to go with a 1-1 draw. I wouldn't be surprised if Brighton won, but I'm going to go 1-1 draw. And that's what I feel in my gut.
I'm going to say 2-1 Fulham.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Willian. Back on the score sheet.
I just love both midfields for these sides, Brighton and Fulham. We'll see if Caicedo's getting back out there and stuff. They're working them. We'll see.
It's funny if you said before the season, like, oh, this will be a good game to watch.
Yeah.
Like, what?
Hilarious.
No. But definitely interesting.
Chelsea, Southampton at the Bridge.
This has Chelsea loss written all over it.
Oh.
The interim manager for Southampton coming in.
I will no the Southampton fans don't even believe this is all the makings in the world for this Celes guy who no one's heard of, to just us against the world.
Yes.
I'm telling Southampton are plus 900 to win. What, Chelsea have won one game in 9 games? What do you mean plus 900?
Gotta hammer those odds.
What? I get Southampton are bad. They still have talented guys. Can I entice you more in this plus 900, Sam? Do you know who's not playing tomorrow?
Who's not playing tomorrow?
Thiago Silva, rest.
Okay.
Reece James, rest.
Oh, easy money, babe.
I feel like...
Pound those odds. Pound those odds.
Is this not just Southampton have 3 chances and they score 2 of them and they win 2-1?
2-1. That's what I was thinking, 2-1.
I just don't... What
This
what
will
has
really
Chelsea
prove
done?
if we're fraudulent or not.
I just don't know. This is either Southampton wins 2-1 or this is the game, for whatever reason, Chelsea actually take their chances and they win like 7-0. There's
Yeah,
just
true.
no there's
Like
no
that
in
game
between.
against Norwich.
Yeah, there's no like Chelsea just win this 2-0. This is they smoke them or they just get absolutely clowned by Southampton.
Yeah, I like that take.
I'll go with the 7-0 Chelsea. You go with the Southampton, and we'll cover our bases.
Yeah. 2-1.
Everton Leeds, 6-pointer.
I feel like this one's kind of tough to call, but I like Leeds in this one. After seeing what Everton had to offer in that Merseyside derby, I wasn't impressed.
Yeah,
I
Leeds-
thought Leeds played pretty well against United.
Leeds played well against United both games. Got a bit unfortunate. Well, not really unfortunate. They might have got more fortunate in the first game than unfortunate in the second game. But I feel like if they bring the energy. Now, weirdly enough, Everton, this was their one win with Fat Frank at the beginning where they won like 3-0. It was like Donny van de Beek had like a goal and 2 assists or something like that. It's just like a weird game. It was like, what the heck? I'm going to go Leeds 2-0. And I don't feel great about it because Leeds' defense is still spooky.
There is the Goodison factor, too. That kind of...
Oh, it's at Goodison?
It's pulling me back.
Oh, never mind. I was thinking of the Ellen Road fixture last year, and I thought this was at Ellen Road. I'm stupid. Yeah, no, I'm gonna go 1-0 Everton then.
Oh, man, this is a really tough one to call.
I don't know what was going through I thought it was at Elland Road. I'm literally looking at the screen and giving the wrong prediction.
I'm going to say 1-1.
Okay. Forest City at the City Ground.
Dude, let's go Forest home. They can't be stopped at home. They're
Yeah,
the best
but
team
people,
ever.
I'll tell you what, people talking up Man City. Maybe they drop points here.
Come on, Forest. If
Don't
Forest
no one pulls Sam's clips of saying Forest is going to be the worst team ever.
No, only the best at home.
If Forest win and Jay Lings is doing the TikTok dances, not even the Jay Lings, the TikTok dances, he's doing like the gritty. have a YouTube short of Sam doing the gritty. I'm going to record it, make him upload it.
Yes, exactly.
With that said, Man City are winning this game 3-0.
Yeah, probably. I'll say 2-0 City.
Holland against any one of their back three.
Yeah.
Their back four, rather. Wolves, Bournemouth. I feel so good about Wolves after I just said Wolves were disappointing because they lost to City.
I'm on
and
the
they
Wolves
click in it.
train, man.
I am too with Sarabia. I like him. I think he's kind of the guy that they need to replace Matinho, and it's opened up a lot of avenues for him. Unfortunately, I saw a tweet, and it was a picture of Raul Neto training, and it was like Wolves tweeted out, and it was like the heart eye emojis. They're like, he's back. I thought about tweeting and saying, don't play him. Don't play him. Are we sure he should be playing?
Stop.
Who's he better than? Podence? No. Cunha? No.
But he does the techniques.
Le dribbles, man.
Le dribbles.
Okay.
He's a
Very
poor
cool.
man's Antony.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. I feel really good about Wolves, even though Bournemouth played a hell of a game last week, maybe getting it back in shape. I'm going to go with a 1-0 Wolves victory, or 2-0 rather, Wolves victory.
I'm going to say 3-0 Wolves.
Oh, dude, I feel so good about it, and that's why it scares me.
Yeah, exactly.
It shouldn't feel this good.
Bournemouth, they got some sneaky talents, though.
Yeah, Tavernier coming back last week, and I mean, obviously Troy's been playing well. You don't want to get dangoed.
Don't get dangoed.
Don't get dangoed.
That's on a t-shirt. Don't get dangoed.
Newcastle, Liverpool. This is the other game I feel great about this week. I just feel like Newcastle are always good on set pieces and with Trippier's ability to deliver the ball. Liverpool's defense at any place defending set pieces is bad, especially on the road. They've been terrible.
Yeah.
At St. James's Park.
Yeah, that is true.
I'm going to go Liverpool comfortable 2-0 victory.
Liverpool?
Yes. No, Newcastle.
It's like,
I had to make sure you're still awake. Liverpool. Liverpool.
I'm going to say Newcastle 1-0. A little grind out.
Okay. It's one of those where they should score a bunch, but Alisson saves like 4.
Yeah, probably.
United and Leicester at Old Trafford. Is this we're doing a title charge, and then Leicester mugs them off. And then they go back to having no faith. And then United win like 3 in a row, and then they lose again. Perpetually convincing themselves they're in the title race when they're not.
This is interesting. I feel like this one's pretty tough to call, too. Of course, you want to lean towards United, but
I'm gonna have to. Well, no Casemiro though.
No Casemiro. Leicester played pretty well.
I think I might have to go. I'm gonna go 2-2 draw.
Yeah, I was kind of leaning towards a 2-2 draw. I mean, I think Leicester played pretty well last game, but it was also exasperated by how bad their defense was. I'm going to say 2-1 United.
Okay. Tottenham, West Ham at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. West Ham been playing a lot better. Tottenham feels like Tottenham always get wins against West Ham, except for the one time where Lanzini came on and had a banger in like the 97th minute.
It seems like there's been a few games where West Ham has beat Tottenham, but Tottenham at home has been pretty good.
I'm gonna grab West Ham on a cheeky 1-0.
I kind of like West Ham on a cheeky 3-2.
Wow, we're grabbing West Ham this week, folks.
Yeah.
We're going to go 1 of 10 on predictions, and this is going to be the one that hits for no reason. So congratulations, West Ham fans.
I hope we don't just completely flop after last week. We did so well.
Well, I'm going to have some major bets on Wolves and Newcastle, and I'm going to tell our good friend to sprinkle money on Southampton. The odds are too insane.
They are.
For Chelsea's 2 best players to not play, plus 900. If you put $10 down, you win 90 plus your 10 back. Yeah. That's nuts. It's worth.
Throw a cheeky
it's
dollar.
Worth for the $1. You win $10.
$9 in profit.
Absolutely. All right, what's your predict? There's no Monday game. Is there? There's not till next Friday, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, we're good then. What's your predictions for this?
Well, I think Willian's going to score again.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm riding the Willian hand. What are the odds on Willian scoring again?
Well, just because I gave a Bobby D. Cordova one last week and it almost came to fruition, it was tantalizingly close. I'll give one this week. I'll give a real generic one. You ready?
Mm-hmm.
Brentford, I predict them to win 1-0. Their goal scorer is going to be a defender.
I like that prediction. If you could bet money on that, I'd hit that.
I'd hit that.
I'd hit that bet. Hammer that bet. You gotta hammer that bet. We're just gonna turn into like a super outlandish Premier League betting show where we just talk like we're talking about college football or something.
Yeah, pretty much. You gotta the over under Jorginho tackles in this game right here. It's set at 2. I think that he's not gonna get close to that. Villa aren't gonna be in the middle of the park with the ball.
No, I've seen Jorginho handle that ball. I mean, the way he slides into that football, it's like nothing else.
You give him the pigskin.
He'll put that biscuit in the basket.
Or it could be a hockey one, and we're just doing Canadian accents.
I really like Willian, what he's been doing with the puck there. He's been really circling around the defense and hitting on the forecheck.
Absolutely. As you're wearing a Canucks shirt.
That's right. Go Canucks, baby. The worst team in the damn league.
Don't you even. My Duckies are much worse than your Canuckies.
Shout out bad hockey team. Woohoo.
That is it.
That's it.
Until next time. Adios. Mis amigos.
Sayonara. Me toma fans.